Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking. And today I bring you probably one of the most anticipated videos of the past few months, another MyStreet review / reaction. And this is to episode 12. Now first of all, I know I haven't uploaded episode 11 at the time of episode 12's release, which is December 15th. I know that episode 11 was actually released on November 17th, so that's almost a month ago. And it's because of the episode 10 parts that I haven't actually got around to doing that. Episode 11 actually is my current upload project, and that will be done by the end of the day that I'm recording this, which is December 15th. So this video will probably come out sometime after that. I don't like being behind. Speaking of being behind, I'm watching this on the premiere of the episode itself. I was trying to watch it as a live stream, but then I considered that it was too laggy, and honestly the point was kind of missed because I wouldn't be able to, well, I still have to pause it and, you know, could present my comments and whatever. So just know that I've watched maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes of this, and I'm going back to the start of it. Also, I think it's best if I do the episodes in order, because that's what I was considering. I was considering uploading episode 11 before episode 10, but no, I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to stick to that. So let's watch the video.
That's everything?
Everything I could find.
Not enough for everyone, but I'll see what I can make of it.
So they've been searching around for spare parts of armor. I'm sure they could have taken some from other guards. I know that they have a full set. I mean, I guess they're just gonna split it amongst themselves. That reminds me a bit of when squids strike. There's a really old video of Sky Does Everything's. Just the way that they're actually suiting up for battle. Whereas that was a comedy video, this is completely serious, so it's not exactly the same. But I thought I'd just point that out anyway. And also, what you're about to see now is very reminiscent of Emerald's Secrets. Behold.
Stay strong.
Once again, stellar animation, well, not animation, but, you know, movement control, or whatever it is that you call it, for this, for that exchange. Question for everyone, actually: do you, when you see things that are recorded in games, do you, like this, do you call them animation? Because obviously, in this context, animation itself, as referred to by the creators, is, you know, what we know as Minecraft animation. I'm just asking because I tried to explain MyStreet a while ago, and that's one of the questions that I got. It was really annoying that people kept on insisting on an answer when I could not provide them one. But oh well. Never mind. They've probably seen it now, so who cares?
I'm coming.
Whew. There. That should be enough. For one person.
Nice! Here, go put these on. I think they'll look good on you.
I think part of Lucinda's character is that everything looks good on her. But I guess we're about to see. Oh, actually, I'm spotting in the next frame right now, and yeah, I guess that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting some form of armor. Just gonna snip that so you can see, and also to prove to people that I do in fact watch the premieres. Okay, there's the image. Moving on.
The jacket looks good on you.
It looks much like a parallel to an earlier season. Okay, I won't rag on this one because actually I really love the way that they've done that. It's the way that Af is actually bandaging herself up now, and they're basically doing the exact same thing that Aaron did in season 4. But whereas in season 4 it was kind of like passing on, passing on the protagonist baton to Aaron for a while, it seems like they're, handing control back to Aphmau right now, which I think has been long overdue, especially in the season that's been described as being more about Aaron. So actually I love that they're actually doing that, and it's probably the one time that I will ever be pleased to see that Lycan jacket within this series. Or at least this season.
Thanks.
But that's not gonna do for your condition. Here. You out of all of us are going to need this.
Thank you.
Keep in mind it's not completely durable, but it will protect you from a few hits.
Right. Let's go over the plan.
Let me guess, they're all going to get struck down and she's going to be fine because of the plate. Either that or she's going to be coincidentally the one person who gets struck down in the chest and therefore needs the plate. I'm just guessing.
Understand that what we're about to get into is based on what we know. And honestly, we don't know a lot.
Unfortunately, which means if we go into this, we'll have to play this almost completely by ear.
Yes. So, when we get to the island, our first goal is to survey the area and see if we can find any trace of Garth, Caitlin, Travis, or Aaron. As much as it pains me to say, we don't know what Aaron's condition is right now. If we run into him, I'll be the one to call judgment on that. If you guys see him, look away until I can make sure it's safe. Lucinda.
Travis is going to be my primary target. I'll sneak up on him and ensnare him in the same trap as I did Terry's body. Once that's complete, I'll try to remove the demon warlock from him.
If we could sneak up on him, Ghost and I will act as a distraction.
Once you have him ensnared, we'll use the Realm Breaker to finish him off.
I like how this again is another parallel to the first episode of this season, where certain people were trying to plan out what their next move was going to be in terms of where to go into the island. And also I love the fact that Derek is no longer here to shut any ideas down. And yes, I know about Derek. And yes, it is slightly somber that, what happens to him. But I still didn't like him, so meh.
You two will have to be extra careful. I still don't know what he's entirely capable of.
I'll act as backup if she isn't able to pull it off.
Right.
That leaves Garth and Caitlin. Zane, are you sure?
I'm absolutely positive. I saw Michael.
We'll call him the Demon Warlock. I'd rather not humanize that monster.
I saw the Demon Warlock bring both Garth and Caitlin under his control. The brother I know wouldn't have tried to kill me, much less Kawaii-chan.
Wow, well done. The brother you know wouldn't have tried to kill you. What a surprise there. Apart from Terry, literally anyone else could have placed that together. Because they all know Gareth. So, of course, that's exactly correct. But a kind of a redundant statement. Also, I love how people in the comments were saying, oh, he was about to say nah. Yes, he was. There's no point to make about that. Yes, he was, to people in the chats of the premiere who are never going to see this video.
I'm still confused as to how that came to be. Did they take a forever potion? Did he use a spell?
I'm not entirely sure. I saw him simply snap his fingers. Then they were
Zane, I don't feel so good.
his.
I think I can clear a few things up. Glad you could join us.
I am invested in this project after all. I'd like to know where it stands.
Well, before we get into the progress of the Forever Potions, we'd like to speak with you about something else first.
Go on.
Zach has had to pull his daughter from child experimentation.
That's still going on?
We never stopped it.
My wife and I decided to go our separate ways, and unfortunately, she has succeeded in removing all custody from me.
Yeah, that's clearly the reason. Clearly the reason. We've seen the trailer.
I won't be able to see Athmel again.
You are cheating on her with that other woman.
He was cheating on her. He can't be cheating on her anymore because they're not together. So there.
So,
That doesn't give her the right to take my daughter away!
She had every right to. If only she knew what chemical experiments you were subjecting your daughter to, you'd be in jail.
So Athmel was subject to some experiments, just not the final ones. Interesting. I mean, she might be more involved than we thought.
oh, Derek. Now isn't the time for that holier-than-thou perspective. You're just as guilty knowing what these children are going through, yet doing nothing to stop it.
He just found out that it was still going on. So technically, no, he's not.
You're an accomplice at this point, so pipe down.
What do you want from me?
Since Zach's daughter is no longer able to participate, we'd like to ask for little Aaron's participation instead.
My answer has and always will be no.
You.
Let me handle this. Can you both leave the room for a moment? You know, if the Guardian forces manage to find out who and what he is, they're going to kill him. It's inevitable, seeing as what happened with the last known Ultima rampage. What Michael is trying to do is protect Aaron.
Don't make it sound pleasant.
Having him undergo experiments would work to his advantage, no? He could be even more powerful.
Now that I think about that, that could easily have backfired for the Demon Warlock. Because his plan was to turn Aaron into a relic. But if at this stage, Derek had accepted and Aaron would have been part of those experiments, then his DNA would no longer match up to what it used to be. Those characteristics might not have exhibited themselves or would have formatted themselves in a different way, which means the relic wouldn't have actually come out into full form anyway. So, actually, in terms of the Demon Warlock, it's kind of good that Derek's refusing. In a very surprising way, actually.
Maybe even immortal if we do it right. Think about it this way. Each one of these children, excluding A4, are being raised to be powerful.
Excluding A4. A4 is Athmel, okay. So, wait, I have to carry on the sentence.
To be powerful. We can do the same for Aaron. And since he's the heir...
All of these children, and yet Aaron's one of those pictures. So he's being raised to be powerful, is he? I mean, I've critiqued Derek's parenting on several occasions, but he is not raising Aaron to be powerful. And that's probably the one redeeming thing about what he actually did in terms of raising Aaron. So once again, flawed logic. Also, where on earth have you been, Elizabeth? You've been absent since your first appearance in the series. Which, when was that? Season 5? And suddenly we found out that you're one of the most involved or the most high up people in this project? What happened to you? Where are you now?
Aware of the curse. It will make him.
I am not subjecting my son to this. And as I said, that's final.
His memory will be erased. He won't have any recollection of.
My son.
Wait a second. Wait. I just remember something else about Elizabeth. She has more children. Caitlin has 3 younger brothers. So if they were so desperate to find another child to do these experiments on, you know, assuming they needed 4, then just use one of them, unless Elizabeth too has lost custody, in which case she can stop riding the high horse about what happened with Zach. Oh, actually, no, she didn't really make a comment on that, but then again, it's not like she's contributed to that at all. I don't know what my point is. But again, my main point is other children. Just saying.
Is going to have a hard life. His rage will be focused on me in order to prevent him from outbursts on anyone else he may meet. This is how I plan to counter his curse from hurting anyone else.
And then you hired Xavier, who then was probably the biggest risk to your operation ever. Again, nice intentions, but
The fact that I have to look at him and suppress him from the world is already enough to go through. I will not look at my son with the added guilt of knowing he was subjected to experiments.
Your logic is flawed, Derek.
It always was, to be fair, but not for the reasons you're going to say.
Your empathy is flawed. I've lived through this curse. You haven't.
I'll give you that. But you're a stupid man for not thinking of this potential for him.
Silence.
Michael?
Let Derek choose what to do with his boy.
I love how his hair's changed slightly. It's always hard to figure out when each character is talking, except for obviously the different voice actors. So the fact that Terry and Michael have distinct aesthetic features, despite, you know, being so similar in design, is actually a redeemable feature. So once again, Blue Jay Studios comes up top on visuals.
It won't change his fate.
Excuse me?
His fate will not change, only his path. He will be of use in time.
What does that mean?
Go back to peddling the potions to investors, Derek. That's all you're good for here.
What were—
Leave, Derek. You're of no use to this meeting.
Really, is that all Derek was good for? Because I'm gonna say that Michael is, well, Demon Warlock, whatever. He's gonna use the relic, even though it's not Aaron's. And at this point, it was either, you know, you have Derek under your wing already. If this was the plan all along, just do it. Although I guess we don't know if he acquired Starlight yet. If they're still, you know, trying to find investors in their potions, that means they still don't have the necessary funding. And obviously acquiring an island is one of the most costly things in the world. So actually maybe I might have contradicted myself there. Oh well. Thinking out loud once again.
Derek, are you okay?
You'll regret your decision, Derek.
Why did Zach have to leave? I mean, he's, again, at the points we see in the series, he's higher up than Elizabeth. My main question with this so far is what happened to Elizabeth?
Garte, Michael needs to be stopped.
How are we?
Are you with me? I know you want your son out as well.
If you'd like, Michael, I can recruit more children to participate in.
No.
You have other children as well. Garte has other children as well, actually. So there you go, really. And I guess he's about to say something like, "No, they are not as much of worth as Aaron is. Even though we had Aphmau as well, who's not even a werewolf at this point in the story." Again, if anyone has any flawed logic in this series, it's the Demon Warlock from the very beginning. Literally, the very beginning at this point.
The ones we currently have are the ones she chose.
She?
We will just have to keep a close eye.
Actually, that's a good point. I would argue that she, meaning Irene, probably would have chosen Vlad as well, because you never met any of Caitlyn's siblings in the other world. But you know what? Whatever. I guess that kind of explains it. Kind of. Also, I just realised something. That on those pictures, you have Gareth and Caitlyn under strength, and Travis under. I literally can't read that. Aphmau has no affinity that is mentioned on the picture. Okay, there's probably more detailed files. But what does it say on Travis's one? If anyone can read that, please say so.
On A4 and A5.
Gareth.
If what you're telling us is that they're under the effects of dormant experiments, then we have to stop the Demon Warlock. As long as he exists, they won't be able to regain full control of themselves.
So, the best we can do is distract them?
What if they don't regain control?
My brother is stronger than that!
Zane?
Literally. He is literally stronger. The point is that the experiment he went under was strength. Also, the fact is that everyone in the room apart from Kim would have been part of the she chose category, I would say. With, I guess... Oh yeah, sorry, the exception of Terry as well, but then again, Terry's already involved. So actually their best chances to use Kim and Ghost in this scenario, because obviously the werewolves are all under Demon Warlock's control already, so they're not an option. So actually the setup for this, actually, to remove all the other characters, kind of makes sense, not gonna lie.
He still had empathy in his eyes. He hesitated to kill me. I know I can reach him if you give me a chance.
Then what do you propose we do when he's about to snap your neck?
Also, didn't Gareth try and reach to you in Season 4, and that completely failed? But then again, Aaron reached out to Aphmau, and that succeeded. So it all really depends, actually. But in that scenario, Aaron almost paid with his life. So I think this kind of scenario is the best option to exercise the Demon Warlock and possibly relinquish the grip on Gareth and Caitlyn in that way.
If that's the case, then we'll subdue him. But it's worth a try if we can get him on our side.
I'll give you that chance, Zane. But if it comes down to it, I'll be the one to face Garth and Caitlyn.
What?
It makes the most sense.
What? Are you kidding me? She's injured! She isn't—
She is a werewolf.
Don't give us that look. Lucinda and I have known. We saw it in the hotel we were hiding out in.
Well then, clearly they didn't do as much of a good job as hiding it as in Season 5. And also, Zane knew about this anyway because he must have known that Aphmau couldn't jump over that river in episode 6, 5? I don't know. I mean, there were signs, even if this was supposed to be some sort of big reveal now.
I'm also aware Aaron has the ability to change a human. The decision makes sense as his mate. I want to question you on how you survived, but now isn't the time. What matters now is Aphmau has the physical strength to help us. and she knows it.
And also she has the plate as well, so she's actually the most protected.
Don't you?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean... Sorry, I mean... It's as Lucinda said. I am the best chance of facing Garth and Caitlin, as long as I can rely on support from everyone here. And, guys, please don't feel like you have to do this. This is putting our lives on the line.
Your lives have been in the line since the beginning of the season. You've been fugitives the entire time. I'd say that choice no longer is a fact.
There may be a chance we might not succeed or even come back from this. And we haven't done anything this dangerous ever before. It's alright if you want to leave. I don't want anyone here to...
Technically, they have done something dangerous like this before. It's because of Emerald's secrets.
Huh?
You've been shaking this entire time. Even now your hand is trembling.
Does that really surprise you? Are you serious? Did you honestly expect that she wasn't going to be shaking? Anyone, literally anyone in this scenario where they're going to what could be certain death would be shaking in this scenario. I mean, I kind of wasn't going to go into this because, you know, it's just drama in real life and whatever, but yesterday I was at a party and there was somebody there who was actually trying to hurt me. I know their reason why, and I know it was them, they can't deny it. Basically, I was in the loo, they kind of just tried to kick the door down, they punctured a hole into it, and basically they were escorted off by their friends. And throughout the time that I was at the party, while that person was there, I honestly would, I put on obviously my best acting, and just acted neutral to them, like I didn't know them properly, which is true. I really don't, actually. So I just, you know, went from one place to the other without so much of a concern showing on my face. But I'm sure that I would have been shaking at that point. I left it up to the host of the party who had been dragged into my mess to escort him away, and yet he still came back. They covered for me without hesitating. Granted, they don't know what happened, but I did. And even in that scenario, I would never have... At that point, I don't know, would I have dared to face him? I mean, especially knowing that I would be involving those hosts of that party who are my friends. So, I say this a lot, but MyStreet sometimes has parallels to my own life. And I never thought that Season 6 would be something to bring out something that just happened to me literally almost 24 hours ago. But it is. So, again, I'm not the slightest bit surprised that Aphmau would be shaking. It's logical. And she's far braver than I am in a scenario that is absolutely much, much worse. A millionfold times worse. So again, I ask you, Terry, are you that surprised? And was it even worth pointing out for a second?
You're afraid of doing this, yet you're still going to risk your life. Not only that, but put those around you in danger?
Is this a pep talk? Because let me tell you, it's not helping. Pep talks are supposed to make you feel peppy, not want to take a shower with a f***ing toaster!
They are intent on coming with me. And I am intent on going.
Yeah, and you're intent, Terry, on making it worse for her. What do you gain by pointing this out? What does she gain by you pointing it out? Stop talking.
I cannot stop you from going. I also have no right to ask this of you, but... please, save my son.
You literally heard the plan. They're going to try and subdue Travis and exorcise the demon warlock from him like they did with you. Does that or does that not count as saving? You're right, you have no right to ask that of her. Cry out.
Travis. I did this to him because I was a weak father.
This wasn't your fault. You live with a curse, right?
Even so, I just want my boy to endure this. I want to give him all the memories that were stolen from him. Please. I know it's adding more pressure to you, but please. Help me bring him home safe.
We'll bring him back. Promise.
Thank you.
If you can excuse me for a moment, I need to get ready.
Of course. I'll be ready to depart as well.
How are you doing?
Fine. It still stings, but it's getting better.
I'm glad it's getting better.
Do you think she's alright?
I'm not sure if any of us are. I'll be right back.
Oh, the best friend talk. This is what I need right now. I need to talk to Sophie. Or Pika.
You don't have to worry about me.
It's kind of hard not to.
I thought you were past your clingy phase with me.
Harsh and to the point, huh?
I'm sorry.
You know I know you're joking with me. Your presence...
Yes. And you know that she knows that you know that she's joking with you.
has changed from when you were talking to everyone inside. What's on your mind?
Everything. I know I have to be strong. But is it wrong for me to feel bothered at a time like this? Everyone here is depending on me. I may have to fight Caitlin and Gareth.
Oh my word. I just realized this is the same torments that her Minecraft Diaries counterpart went through. Therefore the torments that Irene went through. So it's almost like by Irene finally departing, suddenly Avmau is filling in her role once more. This really is a cycle, isn't it? It's just a constant cycle that even Irene, trying to protect a fragment of herself, couldn't remove that aspect of her personality away from it. It's an interesting concept, in a way that, again, the way that fragments have been seen to work in this kind of multiverse. If you take my my multiverse theory to be true, you know, the Codex Ross one. Again, something I keep mentioning, but I see that parallel, that Ross exhibited the same characteristics as its Codex counterpart, but also before that Codex counterpart became the Codex version. He seemed to know and have those memories of what happened before. And while I haven't watched the end of Roommate Season 3, at least that first episode kind of shows the exact same traits as right now. So yeah, I would say that this is completely accurate. And, you know, something I should have expected. Once again, Bluedo Studios comes up on top on story as well. Logic, in some scenarios, not so much. But again, if it didn't have these moments, it would not be my favorite series of all time.
I'm about to lead everyone into a situation that has so many unknowns. Into a situation none of us have ever been in. I don't know how to fight, Zane. I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to protect everyone. I'm scared that something terrible will happen, and I won't be able to stop it. I'm afraid to go to that island and find Aaron. I'm just
You aren't the only one. I'm terrified. Terrified that I'm going to lose you. Gareth, Kawaii-chan, even Aaron. Just everyone who I've come to know.
I say that Aphmau reflects her diary's counterpart. Zane contrasts his diary's counterpart. And that's once again a brilliant feature of how they've managed to turn Zane around. You might say that it's for really strange reasons, like, you know, him stealing a Christmas tree and you know, all the Christmas presents and everything, and parodying the Grinch. But you know what? If it hadn't been for that, this wouldn't have happened now. So, you know what? Kudos to them. Because again, the ones who reflect, and the ones who need to contrast. What more can I say? What more can anyone add to that? What more does anyone need to add to that?
I just want everything back to the way it was.
Life changes. Nothing is happy forever, and nothing is hard forever.
Good times wouldn't be worth it without the bad times. And also, this, you know, everyone's asking for funny MyStreet again. You know, the carefree seasons that we had before, where it was just kind of like slice of life scenarios. Well, in that regard, I would say yes, Zane is also talking directly to the fans right now. He's saying that, you know, if it weren't for these later seasons after season 4, those earlier ones wouldn't have been worth it. And heck, the people who weren't around to see the earlier seasons might get something similar to it. And yes, we've had the MyStreet side stories, granted, and I would love to see more of those. But you know what I'd love to see more? A season 7 where this kind of thing goes back to almost the way it was before. Or at least a conclusion of season 6 that gets to that stage. It doesn't have to be a season 7. Like I said, I don't know if there will be a season 7. But it seems that everything is kind of going back to the way it was. Whether that means that all these new characters that we've come to know aren't going to come back. You know, Blaze, Dottie, Daniel, even Rylan. It seems that, you know, even then, if we're going back to just the basics and just those characters that we've seen already, that's at least something. That's at least them carrying on their lives the way we thought they were going to anyway. It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. But it's something worth looking forward to, even if it means the end.
You're right. Which is why in these times, we need each other.
Feeling better, I see?
Yeah, I am. Why can't you be this insightful all the time?
I am. I just don't show it.
I'm sorry to show the side of me to you at such a crucial time.
No, it's perfectly understandable. You have doubts, fears. You're human.
I love that phrasing, that you're human. Even if you just found out that she's not anymore. I like exploring that in people, you know, the humanity within non-humans. That's actually a big theme within a couple of book series that I'm writing. And, you know, honestly, I love seeing that reflected. It's like, you know, you don't need human characters to have to relate to them. You don't need a character that looks like you, talks like you, or even acts like you to have something of you reflected in them. That's why I kind of hate sometimes how the media panders and uses people that they think will be of similarities to their demographics in order to appeal to them. I mean, why not use an octogenarian for a main character of a kid's show or whatever? There's going to be something that they're going to relate to. Why not? Something's going to be similar. That's an extreme situation, but just popped into my head randomly. Why not? With clever writing, one can make it work. And about Zane's insightfulness, I'd say that he was always insightful like that. I think that's almost the reason why he was so isolated at the beginning. Because, his personality matches much more to, the bleak existence of life, which was mocked in the earlier seasons, but embraced here. Which is kind of why I think Zane, by most of the characters other than, Aphmau and such, was mocked in the earlier seasons, and embraced in the later ones, like right now. Go back to Season 2, everyone still hates Zane. They didn't want him in Love Live Paradise. And yet, here, he's one of the saving graces of everyone.
The boat just docked. Kim is alerting Lucinda now.
Right.
Are you ready?
Absolutely. I'm coming, Aaron. Just hold on.
Halt.
At ease.
Wait, Michael?
Yes, I've been waiting for you imbeciles to get here.
Good impression, I must say.
Is there anyone else on the ship?
No, sir. Just us.
Wait a minute. You should know only 2 GFs patrol this area. Plus, I thought you were on the island.
Well, you were right. Not as sharp under control, are you?
Excellent performance.
How are you able to get away with that?
Because he looks exactly like Michael. Well, apart from, the minor design changes that I mentioned beforehand. It's not beyond reason,
Keep in mind that the soldiers of the Guardian forces are under Michael's mind control. They aren't as perceptive as they would normally be. This goes for Garth and Caitlin as well. Use that knowledge to keep an advantage on them.
What the? Their weapons don't have any ammo.
Most GF who were stationed with civilians mostly had their weapons for intimidation. GF in search for the Ultima had access to ammo.
Oh my goodness. That's actually the first brilliant thing the GFs have ever done. Apart from that one thing that I mentioned beforehand that I've forgotten about. Am I going to give the GFs credit for actually planning something? Really? I guess I am.
Their captain ordered it, so there were no unneeded casualties.
Oh, of course. Toby says so. Yes, we know there were unneeded casualties anyway, before someone mentions it. There were. But, despite that, I would say that, Toby is definitely one of the more interesting people to have on this perspective. Also, I wonder what's going to happen to him. Because if my theory is correct and we're going back to just the basic characters, Toby could be in a bit of trouble. But also he didn't live with them anyway, so it's not like, going back to the neighborhood would change anything.
That's pretty smart.
It was too bad Michael took advantage of his troops. In any case, I'll get the boat started.
Why did Michael never control Toby? I mean, yes, once he took over, Toad was kind of useless to him. But, you know, friends close, enemies closer and everything. Although I guess it might be a little bit harder if he wasn't under some dormant spell anyway, like with like Gareth and Caitlin. Which then brings into question how he managed to control all of the guards. But I guess we're going to find that out anyway.
Kawaii-chan.
She's coming with us, even if she has to stay on the boat. I don't trust her around here without anyone else in her condition.
And also, yeah, everyone said they were coming. Literally everyone.
I get it. Come on, let's get on board.
And now, people who I explained MyStreet to in that lesson, this is what classifies as animation within the MyStreet series. Take notes, people. Take notes. I guess not. They just transferred back to it. Okay. Is this another case of lost animation? I don't know.
That's odd. Why aren't there GF boats surrounding the island?
I noticed that too. You would think there would be an army waiting for us.
They were probably sunk or destroyed when the island was uprooted.
Or they're expecting you to come to them. Because to be honest, why wouldn't you? It is undoubtedly a trap. That's the third time I've made this joke in this entire series, isn't it?
Let's not question it and be thankful we were met without resistance.
Agreed. Now, how do we get into this thing?
We're going to have to find a way in.
Not the relic I was expecting, but this will have to do.
This is a good point, actually. Now that we're coming back, well, first of all, Michael, you've already said that. Crying out loud. If this relic would have to do, what was the point of waiting? You've waited for millennia to get revenge on Irene. You could have easily done it with Derek under your control before, because that's Derek's relic. Also, second, I now see that there's a lot more of a contrast between him and Michael than I anticipated, because of the hair color being completely white as well. Although that might just be a Travis thing, I'm not sure, I'll have to look back. But not only that, but third, how much time has passed since episode 11? Because if this all happened at the same time, well, brilliant. That's fantastic. I love when stories do that. But in addition to that, I would say they should have seen, the rumblings of the celestial cannon from far away, if that were the case. So I don't really know what to make of this.
Wait, what? Sir, what do you mean?
This cannon has far greater uses than what you've seen so far.
But all the systems were non-operational apart from the Making Relics one, which we established in the last episode. Although I guess he could use the relic now to control the cannon a lot better.
And this relic here is going to help me obtain the power I need. Rise!
What's going on?
He can't mean to. Everyone hold on to something!
Oh my goodness, when he meant rise, he literally meant rise. And that is without a doubt, the coolest effect I've seen in anything. And yes, that's because it is in Minecraft. How did they do that? I guess they can probably, just pan downwards from the camera or something like that, but that means they had to build this structure again. Again, bold edit, copy, paste, whatever. I'm ruining it for myself, aren't I? But that's still one of the best effects. And it's rotating as well. I have no answer to how that can rotate like that. It's just so cool, so incredible. It's Leon Tarkshina. If you want good visuals, check out this scene. And the water dripping off it and everything. I can't say anything anymore because I'm speechless almost.
Where? We're in the sky!
Oh no.
Lucinda, run!
Yeah. That was the point to run. And just like that, the video ends. Well, I can honestly say that, that was a roller coaster. I guess you could probably argue that it's not as epic, or whatever the equivalent to that word I'm trying to look for is, as episodes 10 and 11. But honestly, I feel like, those heartfelt moments, the explanation of what's going on, the flashbacks. I don't even mind seeing Derek again, for crying out loud. And I especially like seeing Elizabeth again, even if it did leave me with a ton of unanswered questions. So you know what? I need to get this episode out pretty soon, because I want some answers to those questions. My goodness. So, I guess all that's left to say is, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And on that incredibly ominous note, I need to say one more thing. Lucinda knew that Garth and Caitlin were going to be there. So, freezing in that scenario, I guess, would be kind of reasonable, but her plan was to subdue Travis, who's also under control, so yeah. Let's just see what happens. And if Lucinda's knocked out, then the whole plan is going to go slightly differently to how we've just seen it. Trying to almost ravel out. Okay, right. On that note now, until next time, farewell.